You know the advice we always hear when life gets tough? Be strong, be resilient, be like a rock, unshakable. Sounds about right, doesn't it? A rock withstands the storm, the wind, the ocean waves. It resists. But what if I told you that being a rock is a terrible strategy? Think about it. A rock doesn't get stronger with every hit. It takes it until a harder blow comes and crack, it breaks forever. The truth is, we've been taught to seek the wrong kind of strength. Our modern culture has an obsession with comfort and predictability. We want a life's GPS to give us the exact path. With 10 minutes a day, you'll gain 20 pounds of muscle. The 10 steps to become a millionaire in 3 months selling feet pics. We optimize our lives to avoid any kind of shock. And by doing that, without realizing, we become fragile. The goal isn't to resist chaos. It's to get stronger because of it. And there's a name for that. And this single word will change how you see every problem in your life. The word is antifragile. I know, it sounds like something out of a superhero movie, but bear with me. The opposite of fragile isn't robust or strong. The opposite of fragile is antifragile. Let me draw it out for you. Literally, the fragile. Imagine a crystal glass. Beautiful, but any stress, any fall, it's over. Game over. This is the person who freaks out when the Wi-Fi drops during a ranked match in their fairy game. The fragile depends on a perfect, predictable environment. When life's script deviates by a single millimeter, it shatters. The robust. This is our friend the rock. It handles stress, getting fired, a breakup. It weathers the storm. It's resilient, but it doesn't get better from it. It just survives, returning to its original state. The accumulated stress leaves its marks until the day it breaks. Being robust is playing defense. It's trying not to lose. The antifragile. Think about your immune system. You catch a cold, you feel sick for a few days, and what happens? It learns, creates antibodies, and comes back stronger, ready for the next battle. Think of a muscle at the gym. You lift weights, you tear the muscle fibers, and how does it heal? Bigger and stronger than before. Think of a forest that goes through small natural fires. Those small flames clear out the dead matter on the ground. They strengthen the larger trees, and they prevent a giant, devastating wildfire from happening in the future. The antifragile doesn't just survive chaos, disorder, and mistakes. It feeds on them. It plays offense. It's the Hydra. Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place. While everyone else is trying to build walls to protect themselves from the storm, the antifragile is building a windmill to use the wind's power in its favor. Okay, Rob, I get the theory, but how does this work in real life? Simple. Think about your career. The fragile professional has a single job, a single skill, and prays every day not to get fired. If their company goes under, they go under with it. Their world depends on a single variable they don't control. The robust professional is good at what they do. If they get fired, they have a good resume, a good network, and they get another job doing the exact same thing. They resist the shock, but they don't evolve from it. Now, the antifragile professional, they get fired, and their brain goes, aha, an opportunity. Getting fired is the shock they use as a catalyst. They take their severance pay and invest in that programming course they always wanted to take. They use their free time to create a side project, maybe that YouTube channel they've been dreaming of. They explore, they test, they learn. Getting fired wasn't an end, it was a forced upgrade. The shock made them more valuable, with more skills and more options than before. This applies to relationships too. The fragile couple is the one that never fights. They avoid any conflict, any difficult conversation, sweeping everything under the rug. The first serious disagreement they have, the relationship shatters because they never developed the muscle to handle friction. The robust couple fights and survives. They argue, they get mad, then they make up. The relationship endures, but every fight leaves a small scar. They resist, but they don't necessarily grow. The anti-fragile couple sees disagreement as data. The fight isn't about who's right or wrong, it's an opportunity to understand the other person more deeply. Why did that bother you so much? What am I not seeing here? The discussion, which is a form of stress, when navigated well, strengthens their trust and intimacy. The relationship doesn't just survive the conflict, it deepens because of it. And finally, think about learning a new skill, like playing an instrument. The fragile learner tries to play a song, misses a note, gets frustrated, and quits forever, saying, "I just wasn't born for this." Their ego is too fragile to handle the mistake. The robust learner practices the same song and the same scales for years. They get really good at playing that one thing. But if you take them out of their comfort zone and ask them to improvise, they freeze. They resist, but they don't adapt. The anti-fragile learner understands that mistakes are the teacher. They try to play the song, they mess up, and instead of getting frustrated, they get curious. They record themselves, listen back, identify the exact error, and practice that specific part until they get it right. They actively seek out the difficult parts because they know that's where, on the edge of discomfort, true growth happens. Frustration is the GPS that points to where they need to go. Every mistake, every piece of feedback, every breakup, every crisis is an opportunity for the anti-fragile to evolve. Now, be honest. What was the biggest hit, the biggest chaos that ever happened in your life that, looking back today, you realize made you stronger? Comment below with your anti-fragile origin story. Mine involves working way too hard at a company, being underpaid and more undervalued than the lazy suck-up employees. I quit with no other source of income, which forced me to learn video editing. Without that hit, this channel probably wouldn't exist. I want to know your story. Then we'll see in the comments who has the weirdest story. Okay, but how do we train to be like this? Nobody is born anti-fragile. It's a skill. And here's the training plan. Step 1. Embrace volatility in microdoses. The anti-fragile system hates total stability. It needs small shocks to stay sharp. Your brain is like a forest. When you always use the same path, it becomes a wide paved road, but the rest of the forest becomes inaccessible. Forcing a new path creates new neural trails. So force small disorders into your life. The key word is voluntary exposure to low-risk discomfort. You don't need to go skydiving. Start small. Take a different route to work. Ask the waiter to surprise you with your dish. Try to learn the basics of a skill that has nothing to do with you. These small stresses are like vaccines that strengthen your mind. Step 2. Create redundancies. The Barbell Strategy. Fragility comes from having a single point of failure. The Barbell Strategy is about being extremely conservative in some areas and extremely aggressive in others. For example, 90% of your money in super safe investments and 10% in high-risk, high-reward bets. In your career, 90% of your focus on your stable job and 10% on a crazy side project that has a small chance of exploding. Think about your social life. If all your happiness depends on a single person, you are fragile. Being socially anti-fragile is having a diverse network. If one pillar shakes, the others support you. This strategy protects you from ruin, but exposes you to unlimited upside. Step 3. Stop predicting, start preparing. The fragile try to predict the future to avoid problems. The anti-fragile know that predicting the future is a fool's game. Think of a ship's captain. The novice captain tries to predict the weather perfectly.
The experienced captain knows that sooner or later the storm will come. So they spend their energy building a ship that can take any hit. It's like a good programmer. They don't try to predict every error the user will make. Instead, they write code with error handling systems. They prepare for the unexpected. Your life needs that same error handling. An emergency fund, transferable skills, a mind that knows how to deal with the unforeseen. In the end, the anti-fragile mindset is the biggest perspective shift you can have. It's about stopping to ask, what's the worst that can happen? And starting to ask, how can I use this to my advantage? It's understanding that stress isn't your enemy, it's your training partner. Mistakes aren't failures, they're tuition for an expensive course called life. And chaos isn't a threat, It's an opportunity disguised as a problem. So the next time life throws you a punch, don't try to be the rock that just takes it. Remember the muscle. Remember the hydra. Let the blow feed you. Let it rebuild you a little stronger than before. Because being unbreakable isn't about never breaking. It's about becoming better every time you piece yourself back together. If this idea made sense to you and you want more tools to build your mental fortress, click the subscribe button because we're just getting started. And comment below what other mental superpower you'd like us to unravel in the next video. See you next time.